Hi guys, this is Coach Joy Maxwell from The Joy of Childcare, and today is day 2 of our Leading with Joy in Childcare. Today's topic is one that is very near and dear to my heart. I'm going to jump right into the topic, and then we are going to go over questions and answers at the end, comments and questions at the end. Okay, so tonight's topic is write the vision, make it plain, and then share it with your team. This one comes up because oftentimes I encounter childcare providers who, they tell me these elaborate stories of why they started in childcare and how they want to impact the community and what their ultimate goal is and, where they see themselves and what they want to do with their program. And then I ask them, have you shared that with your team? And sometimes they'll tell me, well, it's on our website, it's on the placard by the front door. And I'll ask them again, have you shared that with your team? And oftentimes people have not taken the time to sit down with their mission statement, with their vision, with their goals, with their core beliefs, their core values, and really go over that with their team. And so we find that people are working on a job just to work on a job instead of buying into a mission, buying into the bigger picture. Now, some people just see childcare as a lucrative opportunity to make some additional money, but you have to know in a field like childcare, if you are leading a group of people, if you are working with people from all different walks of life and you're trying to get them to come together and be on one accord, you have to start off with a strong mission and vision statement. You have to, because you have to allow your team somewhere to go with you. If you're telling your team it's your desire and your goal to be quality rated, you want to get additional grant money, you want to have universal pre-K, you want to offer different programs for the community, you want to open a food bank, you want to be a resource center for parents or single parents or whatever the case is, you have to allow your team to go with you on that journey. If you don't allow them to go with you on that journey, they're just working amiss. Like they're just there. So you want to make sure that that's something that you really focus on, that you really take your time to write out. If you need to have someone else read it over, let someone else read it over. Make sure that it makes sense. Make sure that it's clear. And then that, because that becomes the ultimate goal for your childcare business, it kind of helps you not stray from the beaded path. It helps you kind of say, okay, because this is our goal, because this is what we want to do, because this is what we want to see. If anything else, if anybody else comes into the mix and that's not their goal, then you know that person is not for you. It's not for your team. Okay. The other thing is, and the reason why I really try to teach about having a clear mission statement, a clear vision for your business, is because you have to put your vision on assignment. You have to. You have to be able to know that this is our foundation. This is why we started. This is what we wanted to do. This is what we're going to do. You have to let your team know that, because if not, it's like that scripture that says that people suffer for a lack of knowledge. And so you don't want your team to all just, oh, I'm just the infant teacher. Oh no, I'm just the cook. No, we all collectively are working towards one goal. Um, and then there is another quote. Hold on 1 minute that I want to bring up. Um, a lot of people always quote Habakkuk 2:2, which says, write the vision, make it plain, and put it on tablets so they that hear it may run with it. Okay. It's another version that says that you may have carriers, people who will carry this with you. Then the second part of that says, for the revelation awaits for an appointed time. It speaks to the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. So you want to make sure not only do you have all of your vision, your mission, your goals in place, but you want to make sure that everybody that's working with you, all these laborers that's working alongside you, that they also know what it is so they can run with it as well. They can run with it. They could put it into practice. They could put it into play. You want to make sure you have this defined so that if there are any grants that you need to apply for, and I know we talked a little bit about funding yesterday, but there are certain grants, especially when you're a nonprofit, that if you're applying for them, they are looking for certain details in your mission statement because they give specific programs money to do certain types of things. So if you are a program that wants to cater to single family homes, one parent homes, or single mother homes, there might be grants that specifically say we give money to programs that cater to single parent homes, or people who have lost loved ones due to gun violence, cancer survivors. There's certain monies out there that could be specific to your mission and your vision. But if you don't have that in place, you would not be able to get that. So yesterday we talked a lot about what type of leader you are. What type of leadership skills do you already have? What's your leadership personality? And how do people perceive you as a leader? I try to hone in on these topics because the location is a topic that we can definitely hit on. Business funding, making sure you have all your stuff in order is a good topic. Even onboarding processes and all that is good, and onboarding actually ties into this. But if you don't start with a firm foundation of who you are and what you're trying to do in your business, then we have a disconnect. Okay. With sharing the vision, with writing the vision and making it plain, you incorporate that into your onboarding process. Onboarding is extremely important when it comes to the longevity of your staff. How you onboard them is imperative. I shared with you guys in a masterclass that childcare is one of those industries that we get in the habit of quickly bringing them in, quickly putting them to work, quickly. Come on, these kids are coming in. We're short staffed. The ratio is off. You got to work. And what happens is, because people don't get a chance to be properly onboarded and hear your heart, see who founded the company, what year was it started, where'd you get the idea from, why'd you find the company, why did you want to start this program, why'd you name it what you named it, why is the name of your daycare New Beginnings? Why is the name of your daycare Precious Little Angels? What's your story behind that? How long had you wanted to open a daycare or work with children or be around children? What sparked your first interest? Those are the things that people need to know. They need to know so they can have a greater connection. And so what has changed most recently in my organization, I used to quickly go over the mission statement, quickly go over our vision here at Open Arms, is to make sure that we provide each child with a nurturing, loving environment. And I used to, quickly go through that spiel at the beginning of staff meetings and keep it moving. And so even when I was hiring people, I quickly went over what our mission and our vision was. We're faith-based. We don't discriminate, but we use Christian practices, values, and core, policies. And so people would, oh, okay. But these people didn't know what I was talking about. They didn't know what that really meant. And so what I changed most recently is in my onboarding process, not only do I give you the first couple of lines that says the mission of Open Arms Early Learning and Development Center is, I then give you a few lines for you now to write it. You've heard what it is. Let's write it. Let's write it so that we can, it kind of like when you have to write something, it kind of causes you to go back and kind of like double read it, look at it again, make sure you have it word for word, line upon line, precept upon precept. We write it, we talk about it. What does that mean to you? What do you think it means? How does that make you feel? Does that feel like a company that you could work for? Does that feel like something that you would buy into? We have a totally different conversation now with my onboarding process, and that is the foundation. Going over that mission, going over those core values, going over that vision statement. And let me tell you something. If you are hiring somebody and you say, well, here at Open Arms, we believe blah, 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 and something comes up integral, like something that will cause a person to say, I don't know about that, or I don't do that, or, whatever. You want to look for those opportunities, definitely not to discriminate or, put anybody out or anything like that. But you want to look for those opportunities to have those open, honest conversations, because at the end of the day, you can teach skill set. You can't teach integrity. Skill, I can show you. You don't know how to use techniques to calm a classroom down. You don't know how to do, crisscross applesauce. Everybody fold your legs. Everybody fold your legs. My hand's over my mouth. When my hand goes up, your mouth goes what? You don't know those techniques? You don't know those little rhymes? I can teach you all of that. I cannot teach you to be integral. I cannot teach you to be an honest person. I cannot teach you to be a person with substance and morals. I can't teach that. If it's not in you, it's not going to come out of you as an employee. And so, touching on employment and touching on the overall team and making sure that your team knows your vision is one that I really wanted to make sure that we touched on tonight, because it's so imperative. It's so imperative. Okay. So like I said, write the vision, make it plain, and share it with your team. And how do you share things with your team? Onboarding. I used to have a day of onboarding where I had a cute little agenda and I talked to them for a couple of hours and that was it. My onboarding now looks totally different. What the page that I was just telling you guys about, where we write the stance about our mission, our vision, how that makes us feel. We do a whole KWL chart. What do you know? What do you want to know? What did you learn already about our vision and our mission while we've been here? From there, I go over our practices and our policies, and I try to hit the ones that really stand out, the ones that really are like, you can't do that in childcare. So I definitely hit on those cell phones and proper protocol, proper supervision, how we don't answer, personal phone calls throughout the center, how we don't breach confidentiality, all of those ones that if you are a new center, or if you are kind of like a getting it together center, you're revamping, and you never really told your staff there's some stuff that you couldn't do, and this type of stuff could get you shut down or in a violation. That's the type of stuff that we hit on immediately. How we don't use any type of physical restraints, any type of physical discipline, any type of harsh tones. We don't use any type of condescending tones with children. How we, serve meals, what we don't do with meals, how we don't share our personal food with children. We don't know if they have any allergies. We actually don't know how your kitchen looks. All those types of things, we now put it in writing from the beginning. When I used to have a handbook, and the handbook was it probably was about 65, 75 pages long. and people are getting hired. They're kind of eager. They want to know when their first paycheck coming. They're not really going through all of those pages. And so what I did to make sure that I'm writing the vision, making it plain, and sharing it with my team is I condensed that. I created a document, which is an onboarding workbook. It's about 22 pages. The print is a little bit different. It has some areas for them to journal, share out, a check-in page where I'm going to check in with you at 30 days and see how you're doing, see what you're feeling, see what you've experienced so far, what's worked well, what's worked not so well, what's the area that you feel like you can self-improve in, how do you feel like the organization as a whole can support you in your improvement, is there an area that you feel like the organization needs to improve at? Like Ms. Joy, you know, that first week I was hearing about messages that went out and I didn't know about those messages because I wasn't put on your messaging format. Whatever that is, those are conversations you need to have with your staff. You need to have that with your team. You want to be successful, you need a good team. You want to go fast, go alone. Go by yourself if you want to go fast because you carry you. But if you want to go far, you need a team. You need a team. And you need a good team because you want to make sure that somebody else, when it, you know, it's good for two to you know, be there. It's good for two to walk together, right? You want to know, if I look to the left, if I look to the right, if this load is becoming too heavy for me, I know someone is going to jump in. I know Sister so-and-so, Mr. So-and-so is going to lend a helping hand. You want to start off building your team. Now, the other question that we get with this about onboarding and hiring and bringing on team members is, how do you pay them? And we talked about this a little bit yesterday when we talked about that beginning stages of opening a business or kind of growing your business. What I will say is, at some point, from bringing your team on and letting them know where you are in your process, you want to make sure that you have at least the first 2 weeks of payroll carved out. You want to make sure you have that by either doing a fundraiser, by either doing prepaid payments where your policy is, you know, you pay up the month, you pay in advance for the month. Whatever that process is to get that first initial couple of payments coming in, you want to make sure you have that in place so that you can properly take care of your team. If you are not able to properly take care of your team, it kind of starts the cycle for your team to feel like, well, why am I here? Why doesn't this feel like I'm being taken care of? And that can be a tricky place. That can be a uncomfortable place for both you as the leader and your team. However, these are things that you already start working through, you already start documenting, you already start making sure you have stuff in place, have systems in place, so that when these things come up, you already know, okay, well, this is how we're going to do this. This is how we're going to take care of that. In the beginning stages, even if you're revamping, there are some things that you know, don't worry about. Don't worry about benefits in the beginning. Don't worry about, okay, well, can I pay them paid time off? Can I pay them vacation days? Can I pay them dental benefits and all that stuff? Don't worry about that stuff from the beginning. Just worry about properly recruiting, properly onboarding, properly leading, guiding, showing them the way, sharing a vision with them, and making sure that you have a team member that you can trust. Worry about that part first. Everything else will fall into line. If you properly bring these people in and you are clearly telling them how you want the children taught, how you want the lessons to go, what you want the classroom to look like, Is there any room for creative license? Do you want them to tell you, well, Ms. Joy, I like to do my class like this. I like to do my schedule like this. Do you have a flexible building, or should the building be uniform? Should everybody be on the same page? At my building, and now I have two buildings, across two buildings at 9 a.m. And at one point when I had the third building all still going at the same time, at 9 a.m. I could call each building and I would hear circle time in the background. Why? Because at Open Arms, circle time is at 9 a.m. across every classroom. 9 a.m. is circle time. I could be walking through the hallway and I start hearing, guess who came to school today? Joy, Joy. Guess who came to school today? Joy came to school. I can hear that. I can hear different songs. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. How do you do? Because it's a uniform thing. It's a uniform, and it works better because that way, if something happens and I now have to come in the classroom to fill in, I know at 9 a.m. it's circle time. So Miss Joy's going to do circle time because Miss Tracy's running late. So I'll do circle time until Miss Tracy gets here. I know next on at the circle time is read aloud. Let me get the read aloud book. You can kind of flow better if everybody is kind of consistent. If another teacher has to step in, they've been with their class all month long and they have to now come in your class, they do the same exact thing. Oh, I know what to do because this is what we do at Open Arms, is uniform. So that is a key element. Okay. That's a key element. It's a key component of effective childcare leadership, and it's a key component of leading and building a team. It's just key. Making sure that everybody is on the same page, making sure that everybody knows, let's write the vision, let's make it plain, let me share it with my team. And then there is a time, we also talked on about the other question that I had asked was, has the vision changed? There has been times where people say, you know what? I started out this way, but I switched to this. I changed my name. I had one client, she started out as for-profit, but she knew she wanted to reach a little bit more people and wanted to do something a little bit different in her neighborhood and her community. So she changed her center from for-profit to a nonprofit. Not a problem. Bring your team in on it. Not saying bring your team in on a decision, bring your team in on the discussion of, this is what we've done, this is who we were, this is now who we are. This is what we do differently. Maybe nothing really changed, but we added some things. I wanted to be able to do a food drive. I wanted to be able to do a coat drive. I wanted to be able to get donations. I wanted to not have to pay astronomical taxes. Whatever that reason is for when you make your change, still give your team the courtesy of bringing them in on that process as well. Okay. So tonight we had a page from our workbook. We had a quote. We had a page to take some notes. We are going to take some questions right now, comments, whatever it is that you might have to share. We're going to take that at this time.